this is Pat Walker at MissionWinners.com. It's Friday. I'm making a video for VIPs here on Universal Display. How about that? We're looking at a daily chart right here. Each of these is a price bar. And this is the part I love about this program, is it shows the open, right there, you see the slash mark, little open price, the high, the low, and the close. That's very important to me. Why? So that you can see who won the tug of war on each bar. This is a daily chart, by the way. We don't get wrapped up in 5-minute charts and all that other crud. I really encourage you. I went through a period where I was looking at a bunch of 5-minute charts. Gee whiz, did I miss some bigger trends. That's bad. I'll keep it clean. So we're looking at OLED, Universal Display. This is a good bar here, but look closer. It gaps up, it runs up big, and then drops and closes in the bottom fourth of its range on heavy volume. On this bar, this stock was met with sellers. And I want to show you something here. This is the monthly chart. I'll take it to the weekly. This is the weekly. Think about this, folks. Stock prices, charts are nothing but a reflection of investor buying and selling, fear and greed, complacency, panic. Remember that. Buying and selling, fear, greed, complacency, panic. There were people, I'm going to shrink this for you. There were people that bought Universal Display up here. You can say, how do I know that? Because look at the price. There were buyers up here. It doesn't take rocket science. And then the thing dropped like a dang rock. And then it comes back, and then it drops, and it forms a double bottom. Look at that, and I can explain from a psychological perspective why the double bottom forms. If you want to know, let me know, and I'll make another chart for you. And then it rallies up. Look at this. It rallies up, and it gets closer to these highs, and then it backs off pretty hard on the weekly chart. Why do you think it backed off pretty hard right here? Think about it. There were people that bought the stock up here, and do you think there were people that bought the stock up here that didn't sell? Do you think? Of course there were. There were people that bought the stock up here and watched it go all the way down to where they're down 100 frickin' points. And you know what? It runs back up and it backs off. Who's selling up here? Let's think about this from a psychological perspective. Who's selling up here? The people that bought it here and watched it and took down to a 100-point loss and didn't sell, and it comes back up near their price. And what do they say? Thank God, Ethel, we can sell it for close to our price. That's how double tops form. Now, and also handle formations. And what's it do? It backs off. This is the weekly chart, okay? And then it backed off, and it fell, and then it started to lift up again. Now let's take it to the daily. Let me get rid of the ticker on this. This bar right here. Putting in the context of what the weekly did, look at this. This bar right here is the weekly bar. Here's the daily bar. Look at this. It gaps up, it runs up, and backs off. It was met with selling. The close is below the open. They sold this sucker. You can say, Patrick, how do you know that? Because it gapped up, it ran up, and it closed below where it opened. It was met with selling. Who was selling? As I said before, that's the bar on the weekly. The people that bought it here that didn't sell, and the people that bought it down here that are selling for a profit aren't stupid. They know that, hey, there's buyers up there that got stuck. By God, when they get back to their price, they're going to protect their ego. By the way, don't protect your ego, protect your pocketbook. And they sell. So go back to the daily. Now let's look at this. There were people that bought this on the gap up, and it ran up and it fell. And then it dropped all the way down, and they're down 40 points. 40 points. And then it starts to come back up. And it gets close to this price. Who do you think's selling here? People that bought it here. They're back to break even. They're selling. People that bought it down here, they're selling for a gain. Go back to the weekly. People that bought it back here and got killed and finally say, I'm near my price, they're selling. So there's sellers in there. When I say sellers, there's also potential buyers. How do I know that? Well, the stock moved up in price. It's at a tug of war. What would be the best thing that could happen? Folks, in the tug of war, it goes back and forth, hopefully for a week or so, and it forms a handle. That is the tug of war between the buyers and the sellers. We like the handle to slope down just a little bit and not do it on heavy volume. It indicates that the sellers are selling, but they're not overwhelmed with selling. And then think about this. So it slopes down. I'm going to do something for you here. Here's the chart. I'm going to draw something for you here. If I can. I can't draw a line. So just picture this. There's a line here, and it slowly slopes down for several bars, and then it takes out. In fact, maybe I can. Hold on. We can do this. We can sure do this right there. There you go. Raise that back up. So it frames up into the video screen. Forms a handle here for several days, for a week. And it does it on decreasing volume. That's what we would like to see. That handle is getting rid of the last of the sellers. The people that bought it here that were getting creamed, the people that, because it dropped all the way here and they're back near their price. The people that bought it here and they're selling some for a profit. When we get rid of the last of the sellers, any buying does what? Pushes it up in price. And that is why, from a psychological perspective, the cup and handle forms. Now you know something most people don't, and it's what we look for. So we'll watch this and see if it can base for a couple of days. And by the way, am I saying it's going to? No. You could say, why not? I don't know the future. Nobody knows the future. It would be constructive if it did. We'll watch it and see. I hope this helps you. Thank you very much. And again, I'd love to hear your input on it. I'm sorry this was a little longer. I try not to do that on these videos, but I think it's important to do the material justice for your sake. And again, I thank you very much.